G'day guys, welcome. This is our first podcast under Horror Flix, and look who's back.
Hey everybody.
How are you, Warren?
I'm great. Yeah, really good. High on life.
Good to see you back.
Yeah, me too. It's good to be back. You know, it's been a couple of years now.
Easily.
Yeah, so yeah, everything's going better. And yeah, it's fun again. So yeah, let's let the good times roll, man.
Yeah, for sure. Just to give everyone a quick rundown, I will be going away for 2 weeks, working 2 on, 2 off. But Warren, if he wants to, will be maybe doing some stuff, posting it up on Perth filmmaking community. So yeah, it won't just be the podcast. So probably when I get back, we might do a couple in the 2 weeks that I'm back as well. So it'll probably be, I mean, Warren, feel free to do some on your own as well, or with another host, whatever, while I'm away.
Yeah, that's not a problem, man. We're doing the 31 days of Halloween at the moment, so got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, cool.
Probably too much.
So tonight we're going to chat about and review Dahmer, the series on Netflix, and also Halloween Ends. So where do you want to start?
I'll start with Dahmer. Yeah, right, Dahmer. Cool. Yeah.
So what was your take on it?
Okay, well, there's been a lot of people talking about it, which is like, it's a shame that people are talking about it in a negative way, because there's a thing about they're glorifying Dahmer and not his victims, right? Mm-hmm. And the people that have doing this have probably not seen from episode 6 to the end, because there is no real glorifying of Dahmer in the last half of the season. You've seen all of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know how it goes from like you're learning about him as an interesting guy, and you feel sorry for him, and like he's misunderstood in a way, right? And it's sort of like, hold on, we're not supposed to like this guy, you know, and you don't like him, but you're fascinated. And then episode that is, I think it's called Tony, happens, the deaf guy, and from that episode on, you hate him. You don't want him to do anything that he's going to do. You know, it's almost like it's dread sets in, because you know what's going to happen, and it's not victim shaming. It's not anything like that. Yeah, the facts aren't exactly right, and characters have changed like that. But people sue people for that kind of thing. So if you want, you want realism, watch a documentary. But it really, I think it nailed what a show about a serial killer could be. It's factual, but it's fictional. I mean, Evan Peters, Jesus, I would never have picked him to be so good. Like, I'd just say give him the Emmy, because I don't think I've seen a more complex character on television in years.
I saw an interview with him, and he said he was getting just like even some of the stuff that they said he did, even he found hard to digest and try and act, because he was sort of repulsed by it, but he knew that he had to do it to do the film. But yeah, he found it hard to swallow some of the stuff that Dahmer was doing.
And that's a good thing. That's a good thing though. He's been in every, like, all the American Horror Stories, so he's got the stuff with Ryan Murphy and that. But it's sort of like it's untapped his sort of like potential as a dramatic actor, I think. And that accent was chef's kiss. Like,
I mean,
you go.
Sorry, keep going.
I was just saying, we watched the Confessions of Dahmer, or whatever, the Dahmer tapes or something on Netflix afterwards, and like it was just eerie, because when I was watching, I thought, oh, he's playing Dahmer, but a little bit slower, like his voice pattern was slower. Yep. But he didn't. He was scary accurate, like his voice, goes Ray and all that kind of stuff. I can't do the Boston accent, but Milwaukee accent. But yeah, he just little words that just watching the documentary afterwards just really was chilling. I mean, he doesn't look exactly like him. That's fine. But they should have Josh Dub to do it. But anyway.
Who?
Josh Dub. He's a YouTuber. From The Boys. He's great, but he looks exactly like Dahmer, but he's like the midget-sized version. He's like the Eminem bite-sized version. Yeah.
But I like the guy that played his dad was pretty good, pretty accurate, like looking as far as
Richard Jenkins, yeah.
Yeah.
He's always been a good actor though. I've seen him in so much, I can't remember. I'm getting old, I can't remember most of the actors what they're in, but he was really good. And Molly Ringwald was actually pretty cool as well. I thought she did play a good part. I mean, they all did. And the guy that played Tony, the deaf guy, man, he like literally broke my heart. I was feeling so bad for him because you know what, if you know a bit about Dahmer, you know what's going to happen to this character, and it's like you know where the finite point is, and you know it's going to it, and it's like every moment of that episode, I was just like, no, just fictionalize it like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, you know, just do something so this poor guy doesn't die, but you can't fight history.
Did you prefer the portrayal of Dahmer to the Bundy one with Zac Efron? Because everyone reckons that with Bundy they sort of more glorified. It was more based around the women loving him, sort of thing, than his actual story.
I think they sexualized Bundy a lot. I mean, it's Zac Efron, you know, go figure. But I think in this one, because Dahmer was, I think it's getting, and please have people out there, if you're commenting or something, we haven't seen any comments yet, but I think with Dahmer, because it was about a gay guy preying on minorities, I really think that it's getting a lot of flack, more flack than the Bundy one, because Bundy was a heterosexual, good-looking, preppy, Kennedy-like character, and I think we demonize the minorities more than we do the majorities, and Bundy in a way wasn't as scary as Dahmer, because Bundy is like an everyman's sort of serial killer, like he, you know, basically killing wasps, you know, people. But I think it's insidious what Dahmer did, more insidious, because he was preying on the vulnerable, you know, the fringe dwellers, and it was not something I was comfortable watching with the entire show, because it's like, geez, man. And there's people out there defending it, saying, no, it's not about blacks and gays and all that. Like, yes, it bloody well is. You know, it's about all minorities, you know, and him knowing he had the power to manipulate. And the scariest thing is that, and I've had conversation, the fact that he was so self-aware. That's what scares me most, because he knew he was actual serial killer. He knew he was doing wrong, and he was fascinated by himself. You know, but he wasn't insane. He knew what he was doing.
Oh yeah.
Where Ted Bundy was, insane.
I like how they added in the John Wayne Gacy and that around the same time, how they were doing it, and I like how towards the end in the prison he actually got fans and stuff. I think if he hadn't have done the stuff with the, you know, when he was saying, oh, someone's thumb actually looks like this, I don't know whether he would have ended up dying in prison like he did. Spoilers if anyone hasn't seen it, you should have seen it by now.
Shame on you.
You know, because especially the guy that killed him said that it was because he was too weird, and that's why they did it. Not so much based on his crimes, it was just that he kept rubbing it into him in prison, you know.
He was self-aware, whereas Bundy completely denied it till the day he was dead. And well, he admitted some of it, but I think there's a lot more people that he killed. But anyway, but Dahmer, he was like reveling in the notoriety. He was actually, I'm famous. I'm going to milk this. In prison, I'm going to be a celebrity. Yeah. And if he hadn't have done that, he probably would have been alive. And he had no, what's the word? Escapes me now. He had no remorse, but no humility in what he'd done. He wasn't humiliated by it. It was a fact. I did this. Yes, I'm helping you out with the bodies and identifying, and I did it. And I'll tell you about it. I do like how they went into the media after he gotten sentenced, like the comic books and all that kind of stuff. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, I was looking up just before it says, is all of it true? And there are a couple, obviously. I don't know if it's legally they're not allowed to make the whole thing fully accurate, but
I would say so because of people being sued and all that.
yeah, okay. So it says here that when he works for the plasma center, he didn't actually drink the blood from a bag; it was from a vial. But which is no real big deal.
Yeah.
And the guy that killed him in prison, it actually says that he killed Dahmer first, and then the other guy. But I'm pretty sure that I remember that Dahmer was in the bathroom when he was killed, not in the weight room.
Oh, so he was the guy mopping up in the bathroom.
No, the black guy that killed him.
Yeah, he killed Dahmer in the bathroom.
Yeah, but apparently he admitted he killed Dahmer first, not the other guy.
Right.
Yeah, Scarver stated he attacked Dahmer first. It'd be tough to make the case that these changes. And that's really
dramatically on film. You don't want Dahmer being the guy that gets killed and then he goes out and kills the other guy. It's like, what's the point? Dahmer is the lead. It's called Dahmer.
Yes, I think that was really one of the big differences. A couple of the big differences. Really, there wasn't much more. I think there was. I think the guy that got away at the end, Tracy or something, I think his name was. I watched the actual interview with Dahmer, and I think they asked him if he was gay, and he said no.
Right. Isn't he the person that's gone missing now? Like no one can find him at all.
I don't know, because they asked him if he was still living in the same place. He said no, and they asked him if he had a partner. He said yes, but he said he wasn't gay, and so I'm not sure.
I mean, it's 30 years ago. There's a lot of things that have changed. I mean, there's a YouTube channel I love called Grim Life Collective, and they go around different serial killer and haunts and all that kind of stuff to research history and show history as opposed to sensationalizing. Go, this is the facts. This is what happened here. Bad stuff happened, and they go to where Dahmer's apartment was. And I like at the end, sorry for spoilers, guys, but it said, we're going to build a memorial or something like that.
Yeah.
And it says nothing has been made on this site, in 30 odd years. And it's true. They went there earlier this year, and there's nothing there. It's just a big rolling hill of green. It actually looks gentrified now, like in Candyman. It looks like it's a nicer neighborhood now. But it looks like New York in the friggin' 80s in the TV show.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so what's your take on it, man? What did you think?
I enjoyed it. Obviously I've got nearly every true crime book that there is with all the serial killers in it, and I knew sort of that from, not so much from Bundy, but a few of the like Mindhunter, and a few other shows like that it wasn't going to be 100% accurate, but still you know, if you read it yourself, but I enjoyed it. I actually preferred it to Bundy's one, or to Zac Efron's one, but I think they need to make more like that. Like, I think the next one they should do would be Ed Kemper.
That would be a good one.
But I also think that they need to.
Guy's freaky.
I know it's going to be hard because he's 6'9", but try to get an actor as close to that height as can. Because I know when they did Richard Kuklinski, the Iceman, they used Michael Shannon, and I think he had to have some heels put in his shoe because he was only 6'2" or something, and Kuklinski was 6'5". So, but yeah, but no, I enjoyed it. I'm actually glad that they did that, and I don't know if you can say whether you have a favourite serial killer or not. I don't know if that's wrong or.
I'm a fan of. Yeah, no, yeah. It is a bit wrong, but what can you do? Is I would say that I actually go in things of, I call it scary. Who's the scariest? Mm-hmm. And for me, Dahmer's top of the list. He's the scariest. Richard Ramirez is my actual second.
Yeah,
he's the guy that scares. Yeah, he's awful. And then probably Gacy, and then Bundy.
Okay. So you wouldn't rate BTK there at all?
He'd be fifth. Okay. Yeah, and then the Green River Killer.
Gary Ridgway.
Yeah, he's pretty stuff like that. Then you go to, Dennis Nilsson over in England.
Albert Fish and all them.
To me, they're second tier. Horrible. But the ultimate one, I would say would be Jack the Ripper. You know, of pure insidiousness. But
So where would you put Kemper in amongst them, number 2? Or?
Kemper would be in the top 10. But that guy that played him in
Mindhunter.
Oh man, he was perfect.
Yeah.
He should still do it.
I know they did one on Ed Gein, but it wasn't really to the extent that Netflix did for Dahmer. I mean,
yeah.
And
the Butcher of Plainsfield, that one.
Yeah, I think it was Kane Hodder that was in it.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah,
that was really bad. If you want to watch a good Ed Gein thing, it's a film called Deranged, back in 74. They had oh my god, it had one of the old actors. He was in Better Off Dead. Deranged. It's actually a really, really, really good film. Uncomfortable, but that's pretty good. But the best portrayal of Ed Gein in any film ever is, of course, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Well, who was the one that portrayed him in Dahmer? Because you see him in the cell, I think.
Gein, yeah.
But,
oh god, you'll have to look that up on the internet.
But I was chatting to another filmmaker last night, because it's weird. Like when I looked up the definition of a serial killer, it's someone who has killed 3 people or more.
Really?
And yeah, the majority, not all of them, but the majority of every single serial killer has 3 names. And you know, I said it can't be a coincidence.
Well, dude, I got 4. So what does that mean?
Well, Robert Ramirez had 4 as well. But you know, like Rosemary Pauline West.
Yeah, but I think they do that on purpose.
Gary Leon Ridgway, Eric Edgar Cook,
Ted Theodore Logan. No, Ted Theodore Bundy.
Robert Theodore Bundy. Oh yeah, Ted. So.
Yeah, Ted Theodore Logan, mate.
And then he goes to me, the Beaumont children have gone missing. I said, yes, but they've all got 3 names each as well, so how do you know they went missing?
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think it's actually that I don't think the 3 name thing is that much of a big deal. Personally.
Well, I mean, you got David John Burney, you've got Bradley John Murdoch, then all the guys from the Snowtown murders.
I think that they actually do that on purpose, though. Like they make sure that they have the 3 names, so you actually know.
But I'm saying,
Mark David Chapman, you know.
Yeah, but I'm saying the majority of the ones that do it have 3 names anyway.
Okay.
Most of them.
Yeah. How's my microphone, by the way?
Yeah, good.
Cool. We haven't got any viewers, do we? 3 people watching.
Yeah. Some people don't. It's like when I do.
I like it.
It's like when I go live on PFC. Sometimes I get like 10 viewers, but then when you watch it back later, it's like 200 people watched it back. So it's.
I remember those days, mate. Remember when we used to get like 10 people in total?
Yeah.
In total, even watching?
Yeah.
That was the days. So, okay. So, what would you rate it out of 10, the Dahmer Show?
I'll probably give it an 8.
Yeah, I'd give it a 9.
I would have liked to have actually seen him maybe kill a couple of people, actually do it, instead of just like, you know, taking him and then it shows you them dead afterwards.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
See, I think the reason why they didn't do that, very good reason, is the fact that censorship, gore, all that kind of stuff. But also, if they showed more people being killed, like the 17 people, if they showed more people being killed, it would have been redundant, and it would have taken away from the impact of the actual deaths.
Yeah. Like
seeing like Tony and the last guy, Tracy, getting away, and you seen that guy with was it Travis with the dumbbell?
Yeah.
The first one. Seeing all that kind of stuff, that was like almost the beginning, middle, and end of his career. You saw that Conrad kid. Oh my God! You saw that. You saw the most impactful and the worst greatest hits of him. And I think that's enough.
I mean, I suppose you saw it at the end where the guy hit him with the barbell in the prison. That was pretty full on.
That was juicy as hell. Reminds me of the film we're about to talk about.
The only thing I didn't really wasn't sure if it needed to be there was that Asian boy when he was having the dream and his brother was in the basement with his, although I got the reference to it, didn't really know if that needed to be in there, if you know what I mean.
What, like his dream sequence?
Yeah, so he was dreaming that he was tied to the bed, and then when his dad's building the boat because they've got to get out of there and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And then he goes downstairs and Dahmer's got the drill showing him how he does it. I don't know if that needed to be there.
No, but at the same time, you can see that it's affected him so badly that he's having nightmares about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's more character study stuff, I suppose, but that trial, when they had all those character witnesses talking at the end, and and she goes, Jeffrey, hey, that one sister, man, that got me, hey, because I remember that footage when I was a kid on TV. I remember seeing that trial footage live, and and how many times could that dude have got caught? I mean, taking out the trash when the cops pulled him over, just doing some yard work. I can't sleep. My parents are divorcing and having trouble.
The guy with a handcuff.
Yeah. It's amazing how, and it's scary how easy it is for people like that to do what they do.
So we do have a comment from Pammoth 1989 saying serial killers are known by all their names to minimise the chance of an innocent person with a similar name being confused with them. Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah.
Very good point. There you go. That's why they got 3 names. I just thought everyone had 3 names, and
I got 4.
That's why they did it. I got 4 too. But I think arsehole's in there somewhere. We're not allowed to swear, are we?
Yeah.
Oh, we are.
It's after 8 o'clock, so.
Yeah. I'm trying to curb my language skills, mate. I've got to get back into writing, so.
Yeah.
I've got to use bigger words now.
Yeah, no. So I'll give it an 8. I enjoyed it, and I hope they actually make more similar to that. But because I think they should make more of the serial killers, just to bring to life actually how they were. I don't know if they'll do any of the Australian ones like the Claremont serial killer or the Bernies or anything, but
they're not glamorous enough, and that's a shame, and it's a horrible thing to say, but they're not glamorous. They're not the wow factor, I mean, podcasts are better for that, like Case File and all that. That's where I go for all that.
Yeah.
But yeah. See, do you think that they should? I think they should make more too. But I think the reason to make them is to show us how abhorrent their behaviour is. Abhorrent, whatever the word is, to show the difference between us and them. And it's the yardstick that keeps us normal. It's what they say: if you think you're crazy and then you're not crazy, sort of things like, see how different they are from us. At the same time, documentaries do the same thing, but as long as they treat the victims with respect, and anyone out there that says that the show didn't treat the victims with respect, you watch that Tony episode and look me in the eye and tell me that, because that was respect. That poor boy, what he went through. But as long as they do that and don't glorify the killers like they did in, I think Ted Bundy did. Yeah. I'm all down for it. And I think Ryan Murphy is a phenomenal producer. And they got that new one, The Watcher, that started last week as well.
Another one based on true events.
Yeah, I remember that when it happened. And there's a couple of shows that I watch on YouTube that have that story, the actual real story on it. It's pretty freaky stuff, but 7 episodes, I'm not too sure.
I can't give away the ending, so. Not that I've seen the ending, I read about it, so.
Well, I haven't seen the ending of the show. I haven't even watched the show yet. I'm on a show called The Midnight Club at the moment, the Mike Flanagan's new one. I've
been watching The Mercedes Killer.
Oh, Mr. Mercedes.
Oh, Mr. Mercedes, yeah.
Oh, that's Stephen King.
That guy's pretty freaky, the one that's the actual killer.
Right? Yeah, Bradley Bradley.
Yeah, he's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I've read the first book in the series,
Yeah. Okay.
and yeah, great book. But it's a series. I haven't read the second two, which is okay. I don't get to read anymore. I can't read anymore, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Audible.
Cool. Yeah, I've got podcasts I listen to all the time.
What do you listen to? The series. Before you go, what do you listen to now?
I listen to same one that you do, like the
Case
true
file.
crime ones.
Mm-hmm.
There's an Australian one, and I think there's a couple of American ones. I listen to a lot of the Atheist Experience about religion and stuff. Some filmmaking ones, just about like independent filmmakers and just ones in general. I flip between them and just see which ones I like.
Any you can recommend?
Let me have a look on my phone quickly.
Well, I'll talk about the ones that a couple I like. I'm into the paranormal and supernatural, so I listen to Jim Harold's Campfire, Astonishing Legends, myths and legends and that kind of stuff. The serial killer ones, a Case File, been put onto that recently, and there was a really good one, Murder in Long Island, I think it's called. It's actually narrated by Donnie Wahlberg, of all people.
Okay.
And it's phenomenal. It's about the Amityville murders, and literally blew my mind at how good the storytelling is for this show. Chap it down. It's really, really good. And I've just been listening on my lunch breaks to Jim Harold's Campfire because snippets of little horror stories, little ghost stories and stuff, true ghost stories, if you believe in it. Good stuff. You do the spooks when you're out in the back room by yourself.
Well, one of the ones I listen to is Serial Killers. So one of the newest episodes is The Red Ripper. And then there's I Catch Killers as well. I'm pretty sure that's an Australian one. True crime. Case File, which is another
that's
one.
phenomenal. That's probably the best one, I reckon.
Film Courage. Then I've got Horror Movie Survival Guide as well.
That's awesome. They're good.
And that's really Parcast Rituals. It's two women that talk about demonic naked women, secrets of immortality, that sort of thing. And that's really about it. I chop and change between them quite a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess it depends on the mood I'm in at the time.
Yeah, I'm always in a spooky mood, mate. It's Halloween right now. September's Halloween Eve. It's Halloween. October is Halloween. Are you doing anything for it?
I'll be working away.
Damn, that sucks.
I could take my Mike Myers mask and put that on and say Happy Halloween.
Yeah, do it, man. Doesn't matter. Hey, you take one for the cause.
We're not allowed out at night time or anything, so.
Really?
Yeah, it's really restrictive.
Fair enough.
So, what's the next one we're talking about?
Halloween ends, but does it?
Well, that's the thing.
Yes. Could you do me a favour though in the background? Could you lower the music down a little bit? Because I can't concentrate on Halloween ends if I've got that music. You should put on Halloween. No, copyright.
Well, I think if you play bits and pieces of it, you're alright. But
but I'd want the whole soundtrack, man.
Yeah.
But,
so, what did you think?
You go first. No, you go first this time.
All right. So I went into it obviously with certain expectations, which were met.
Hold on. Spoiler free or spoiler?
Well,
spoiler.
I don't know whether to give spoilers or not. That's all.
Let's do spoiler free for the first 5 minutes, and then if we'll go spoilers.
Yeah.
So
you sort of. One of the things with me when I watch a film is predictability, and obviously with the Halloween ones there is a bit of that because you sort of get an idea of what's going to happen, and just because of the way that it is, which is fine. It's the way it's meant to be written. Same with Friday the 13th and things like that. One thing I did, which I wasn't expecting, was that I thought there would have been more of Mike in the film himself. But I also like the twist they put on it, where you don't see as much of him, and it's the other guy.
Okay, let's just go spoilers. If you haven't seen this, guys, we'll put a link when we repost this or whatever. We'll just say spoiler film because we can't talk about this film without spoiling it, and we'll probably lose like the 5 people that we've got watching. But seriously, you can't talk about this film without spoiling things. The first scene, talk about that.
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
How could you not? How can you talk about the first scene without spoiling it? It's
Yeah,
pretty.
well, that's right.
Okay, something happens that is so shocking that I never thought I would see in a film, and it's so blunt and delivered and so deserved. If you know what I mean, sure.
Yeah.
It's deserved.
Yeah.
Definitely. It shocks the crap out of you, and it's got nothing to do with the Michael Myers story. Absolutely nothing. And if you've noticed the credits on all 3 films, the first Halloween 2018, the credit sequence looked like the original Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
The Halloween Kills, Halloween Kills, the credit sequence looks like Halloween 2, which they retconned in out of existence, and then Halloween Ends, the credit sequence looks like Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. It's all the same fonts, it's all 3 films. And the way I look at it is this is the Halloween 3 of this new trilogy. You know, it is part 3. And how he's saying that Michael's not in it as much. Well, he's actually in it more than he was in the original Halloween movie, ironically. But his lack of presence is really similar to Halloween 3. So it's its own creature, really. It's sort of like trying to shoehorn in a Halloween 3 experience via Grease 2 into the the new trilogy. Did you get all the parables, man? With all the oh my lord! And like I was watching it, and I was like, "This is Grease 2. This is literally the storyline of Grease 2." I'm waiting for like Adrian Zmed to come out and sing about going bowling. It was like, what the hell? I mean, I love Grease 2, but it was for them. Okay, I've got to talk about Corey and the granddaughter's name. What's the name? Oh my god, that's embarrassing.
Wow. Hang on, let me
that's
just use
terrible.
old mate Google. The bit where he was in the in the cave underground, and he seemed to be getting beaten up by Corey. It seems to me though, when he killed, that he seemed it's like he got his powers back or his ability back.
It was supernatural. It was supernatural, wasn't it? How he got his powers back.
And I'm just wondering if that was because he killed the person or not.
Yep, that's how I read it. It was really, as soon as he killed that person, it was like he went from like this defeated shell of Michael Myers to you could actually see him like bulk up and become Michael.
Allison was her name.
Allison. Well, the relationship between Corey and Allison, a little bit tad unbelievable. I mean, I know that there's been relationships where people have fallen in love with each other over a few days, but if they'd have actually had in the beginning scene a sort of connection between Allison and Corey, like thanks for cancelling your date with Allison tonight. I know that you wanted to go out with her, and she said that's okay. She's in class anyway. If they'd have said that one line, then it would have linked their relationship from the past to where they meet up in the future, and it would have been like, hey, I haven't seen you in years. How are you? We haven't talked since something happened. Okay. And that would have been like a complete relationship. It would have been history, and they would have carried on for where they left off. Would have been fine. But it was so unbelievable, their relationship, I thought.
But
It's Halloween.
I thought she might have clued on or had some idea that he was killing or was doing what he was doing, then towards the end of the film, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
he alluded to it, but she sort of, I don't know if that was meant to be just there so that, you have to wait till the end, but he did allude to it quite a few times, and I don't think she purposely clued on.
I think she was in denial because, it's these ladies out there that like the bad boy or the boy that's a bit dangerous, they oversee the fact that they're narcissistic sociopaths, and they just say, oh, he's not so bad,
Yeah.
Oh, he's not so bad, it's like, how far, like, in a relationship like that, are willing to take, make excuses for that person, and that's what she was doing. Like, Laurie was telling her, hey, this guy's not cool, he's a bad guy, and she's like, screw you, grandma, I'll do what I want, I'm an independent person, and I'm in love with him after 3 days, or 2 days, whatever it was. If they'd only had a link in history, I would have gotten that. And like, you know what? She needed someone too. That's the whole thing. Like the flip side of that, she did need, not need, but she wanted someone that just wanted her for her, and that's what Corey gave her. And the thing that really pissed me off is the town is the reason why Corey was the way he was. It wasn't what he did at all. And if you want to pinpoint it even further, it's the mother of the kid that made it all happen.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because there was no restraints on this kid at the beginning of the film. Like, this kid did what he wanted, just like, spoiled little rich turd. And then when he's in the bar and he's cutting loose and you can see him finally having a good time for the first time in his entire life. And it was a really good scene. I thought, oh, finally, thank God he's cutting loose. And then she comes back and ruins it. I was like, it's all her fault. She is the linchpin for the whole film. It's the sins of the mother. But I'm going to be called a misogynist arsehole right now, but I don't care.
So,
bad parenting makes bad children.
I don't know what you think, if you agree or not, but with the ending, towards the ending where she's got him on the table and whatever, and then there's that really good shot in the blood where you see them holding their hands. I thought that was a really, really good shot. I would like to have seen Laurie die as well, have them both die at the end.
That's the biggest spoiler of all, guys. But I've talked to my partner and we're both in agreement. Laurie should have died she should have died, and it's the biggest travesty that she didn't, because the whole series was going to that moment where they would both die. I mean, I always thought if I was ever going to do one of these films, I'd have Laurie die off in the hospital before Michael could kill her. So, and then he's got rage. He's got pent up rage. He can't do it. He just goes on a free for all. But the funny thing is, that lady outside the shopping centre said to Laurie, how dare you smile because look at what's happened to my sister. It actually wasn't Laurie's fault at all. None of the films are Laurie's fault. Whose fault is it? Well, the first one, it's really Annie and hey Gary, and in Halloween Kills, Halloween 2018, it's Dr. Sartain. Yeah. If Dr. Sartain hadn't brought Michael to Laurie's house, they would have never met again, because Michael was going.
Yeah.
He would have never gone to Laurie because he didn't even know who she was.
What do you think about the guy playing? I mean, I know they've changed Michael a few times, like the character, but what do you think of the guy playing him for the last two, I think?
3. Yeah, James Jude Courtney. Yeah, he's excellent. He's got it down pat, because they actually had the original Michael, Nick Castle, come in and sort of mentor him on movement and things.
Oh, okay.
Because Nick Castle was a dancer and he was pretty lithe in his youth, and that's the difference between him and every other Michael Myers. He actually had movement. He could actually almost glide in the shots, and James Dean Courtney had the older man version of that.
Yeah.
Like and I thought he was phenomenal. Best Michael since the original.
How are you, Gary? Yes, that's right. You better believe your eyes.
Yeah, Gary. What is he on? Which format is he on? Facebook.
Facebook. Yeah.
I better load up Facebook on my phone. Oh, by the way,
Under
rest in peace, Eddie.
Yeah. So.
Are people talking?
Oh, he's commenting.
Oh God. Oh, go lower it down.
Now, can you please tell everyone, are you the YouTuber Dictor Van Doomcock?
Gary, come on, man.
Who is that, Gary? Who's Dictor? I'm going to have a look at that now.
Well,
it's got me
if he's actually watching people called Victor Van Doomcock, he's watching YouTube that's different than I watched. But yeah, okay, so chill up. Getting back to it, what is your favourite thing about Halloween Ends?
Besides, obviously, him dying.
That the actual scene?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. So much
Well,
more.
I'm sort of like, I thought, well, how are they going to do it finally? Because they've burnt him, they've done all that, and if he's supernaturally
Chopped his head off.
Yeah.
It's choose your own adventure, though. You got to get to that one. You can't just watch them all in a row. It's like, which branch of Halloween shall I watch today?
Yeah. Actually, I didn't mind when Michael actually killed Corey for, I guess, impersonating him in the house. You know, when because for me it felt like, well, Corey was helping him in the tunnels, and then now, I suppose Michael was like, well, I don't need your help, or I'm out. I can, I'll do it myself.
But did Michael kill Corey, or did Corey kill Corey?
Yeah, well, he did, but was it owed to Michael to let him finish what he was doing, you know?
Yeah, like let Michael finish what he started, sort of thing. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah.
I think I enjoyed it because it was sort of, he's like, well, to Laurie, well, you're not going to get me, you know. Michael wants to finish what he's doing, so I'll just do it, and that's it. I thought I enjoyed that part.
And your least favourite part?
I'd say, like you were saying about the relationship part, the connection between the girl and what was his name? We just said it.
Corey,
yeah.
Isn't it weird? After 3 movies, we don't remember her name, but we remember Corey's name.
I think that was a bit rushed, so. But besides that, I actually enjoyed the film. Like I said, you go into it with an expectation knowing that Michael's probably going to die somehow. So it takes away that mystery factor, but I guess finding out how it happens and the kills themselves are good as well. But being a slasher type of film, I guess if you call it that you do go into it with that kind of, okay, well, I know I sort of know what's going to happen here. But I think if they had to really make it Halloween Ends, if they had have killed Laurie off as well, that would have been, because like you said, does it because it's she's still alive. But yeah, no, I did enjoy it, and it's I guess you've got to be a fan of Halloween and Friday the 13th to actually enjoy. If you're just watching it just to watch a slasher or a horror flick, then you're going to be like, oh, this is just the same old thing, just kills and whatever. So I guess there has to be that sort of, you have to be a fan in a bit of a way to appreciate it all.
Yeah, I mean, man, I got issues with it. I mean, my cons. Lindsay did not have enough screen time. I mean, it's Lindsay, it's the little girl from the first film. She was basically a cameo. I thought it was disrespectful. The relationship was almost laughable, and the turnaround of Laurie, going from a happy person that's writing memoirs, she's dealt with it, she's probably had therapy, she's doing well, and then that turnaround that she goes back to almost mentally crippled again, not crippled, but mentally she's so affected that she can't, function now. She's now obsessed with Michael again. I thought that was just too quick of a turnaround. Um, it was almost instant character change, and and that scene where Corey is talking to her in the house and she's rocking back on the chair, was that Laurie or was that his imagination of what Laurie is saying to him? So I don't think it was actually Laurie there. I think it was his psychosis.
Oh,
really? And the supernatural element with when he killed that guy and then he becomes Michael again. I actually liked that. I thought that was.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not against supernatural stuff in the slasher films because how is you gonna explain it? But yeah, the biggest con is the relationship, without doubt. However, I think it's got probably the best opening scene of a film since Scream.
Yeah, okay.
I think that opening, it shocked me so much that I was like genuinely, we're on. It's going to be good. The end battle, yes, Laurie should have died, without doubt, and it probably is a reshoot. It probably did it that way and they reshot it. But as she's leading him like a pig, and he grabs her throat, that's when he should have crushed it. It's Michael Myers. He should have crushed the larynx within a second. But I love how she put that refrigerator on his legs to pin him. I was like, yes, something that I wouldn't be able to physically do, but I'd do it. And everyone's saying that Allison should have ridden, she drove off at the end, right? She should never have come back. She should have just left Laurie to die.
Yeah.
After what happened with Corey. But the final scene where he's on the roof and all that kind of stuff, it was like such a catharsis for the town of Haddonfield. I thought that was actually pretty beautiful. Even though he was put in that Christine Crusher, I thought it was actually a pretty beautiful, poignant thing for the town. They needed that release and escape. But I would have had his hand grab her foot and bring her down into the crusher with him. But that's just me because I'm an asshole.
Well, that's what I was waiting for because I said, "Oh, here we go. She's inside there. Something's going to happen as well." But no. But no, I think there was quite a lot of good camera work in there. Especially that scene where he's holding her hand into the blood, and you just that was a really good shot.
It's the same cinematographer for all three films too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they all have different color palettes, all three films.
Yeah.
But I can't remember if his name's Michael Reynolds or something. But he's a mad horror fan. He's done a few horror films, and he's brilliant. Like, one thing that you can tell is that the original film, like Halloween 2018, wasn't a part of a trilogy. It was written standalone because, as I've read many places, that the scripts of the last two have been pretty haphazard. Like they'd be like, "Oh, we got to get something out within 6 months. Oh, we got to write something." There's no sort of overarching story.
Yeah.
I mean, geez, even Alien 1, 2, and 3 had an overarching story more consistent than these films, but they had years in development. So, but yeah. So overall,
I'd probably still give it about an 8. I think it was good. Like I said, there were some, and I agree with you. There were some bits and pieces that I think could have been done better. But yeah, I mean, overall, if you're going into it expecting to have the kills that you're used to seeing, and go into it expecting that the stuff's going to happen, then yeah, you go into it with that, and it's exactly what you expect.
It's Halloween, it's the film, series that started in '78, and it's not going to end. Like, there's going to be more Halloween movies. There's going to be, because it's making a lot of bank. But for me, it was a very satisfying conclusion to the Laurie Strode storyline.
I saw a meme on Facebook that had Jamie Lee Curtis 2032, and she's like all old and wrinkly, and Halloween 2032, another 10 years from now.
Nah, man, I don't think she'll do it. I mean, we were talking yesterday about how she's like being gracious to the fans, because I remember when that woman turned her back on horror and
Oh,
all
yeah.
the horror roles and that. It was 20 years, man. She just thought we were all freaks and geeks and absolute lunatics and all that. I'm thinking, it's so hypocritical now that she's doing that, but it's Jamie Lee, you know. I've had a crush on that woman since, 78. I was 4,
Well,
you know.
she was crying when everyone was thanking her for doing it, and at the end, and
Mm.
but I
But,
think the only thing I don't want them to do is do what they. Oh, I did watch a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it was
the new one.
with all the young kids.
Oh, in the
They were-
town.
Yeah, I just don't want them to do something like that with Halloween. Like, everybody brand new and having all these no-name young kid actors and because there's no need for it.
Yeah. I actually liked the Friday the 13th remake back
Yeah.
14 years ago, whatever it was, and 13 years ago. And I thought that was the way to do it. If you're going to, I mean, in my world, like Halloween 3, you know how it didn't have Michael in it? I know he was they had the film on the TV, but that still existed in the same world as Michael Myers, but you just didn't see Michael Myers in it. It was just like a parallel story.
Yeah.
So if they do another Halloween, make it completely different, have the same feeling set on Halloween, but don't have it about Michael, don't have it about Laurie,
Maybe
You
just
don't
bring
need it.
Allison into it or something, or
Don't bring any of them into it, man. I honestly think that they shouldn't do anymore. I mean, and that's from a guy that's born on Halloween.
yeah.
Don't do any more because there's no need. Bring back Friday the 13th. Bring back Freddy. It's their turn now. I mean, Halloween was the big original slasher. If you want to say that, it wasn't, but we'll say it starts there. Then came Friday the 13th. Then came Elm Street. Why don't we have the Friday the 13th now? I mean,
Yeah.
David Gordon Green is doing the Exorcist trilogy, new one. I'm just going without Linda Blair in it, but they got Ellen Burstyn, the mum, but without Linda Blair, it's not going to make any sense,
Yeah.
And sure, she might not be as great an actor now and hasn't acted for a long time, but the last thing I saw her in was Spring. But there's a time for resurrection and there's a time for a burial. And I think Halloween should now be buried.
Yeah, that's right.
And Friday the 13th, resurrection. It's time for Jason.
In saying that, on Indiegogo there is a shitload of fan films. So
Yeah.
there's one now I'm looking at called The Evil 3, and it's basically Michael, Jason, and Leatherface together. They terrorize a small town.
Right.
So it's basically about them. And there's one. Oh, there is a Texas Chainsaw Massacre one as well. But there's with the fan films I was reading, because Fear of the Mind will be coming out soon.
Awesome.
Obviously, you can't make any money from them, and any money you do raise has to go towards the production, not paying the team. With the screening, it has to be free and stuff. But yeah, the fan films, I'm not a huge fan of them, but I think they're good because they serve a purpose. Like you said, although you can bury Halloween, I think you can still bring it back in a fan film. A fan film sort of, not genre, but yeah, the way they
It is a subgenre. Fan films are definitely subgenre.
because the fan films, everyone has their own take on them, and you don't have to do them the way that they've been made. You can put your own spin on it.
Never Hike Alone. Have you seen that? The Friday the 13th one?
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
If you want to make, you can make Michael Myers gay for everyone knows, but
He's got a big knife. That's what I've heard anyway. But yeah, you're right. You can actually do fan films. There's nothing against that. I mean, I actually was talking to a film group I went to yesterday, and someone said all sequels and prequels are nothing but fan fiction.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'm like, in a way, yeah. You look at the new Star Wars films, yeah. And I actually, there's a parallel to me with Star Wars and Halloween. How you've got your choose your own adventure. You can choose the original trilogy. You can choose your next lot of films if you want to use it. It doesn't matter. If you're a Halloween fan, you're a Halloween fan. I'm a more superior Halloween fan than you because I like the original, the Laurie Strode story or whatever.
Yeah.
No, if you like any of them, you're a Halloween fan, and just choose your own adventure and be happy with it. There's fans I know and have talked to the guy who wrote Halloween 6, and you know he's an awesome dude, and he's had so much flack because of what he was made to write. It wasn't just because he wanted to do the. Because look, he's like, what is going to make sense to make all of them make bloody sense? Because none of them do, and so he created that, and he got so much flack, poor guy. But I actually like Halloween 6. I think it's a pretty nifty little film. Sure, it's not perfect, but it's got atmosphere. That film drips with atmosphere. You can't deny it. But if you like any of them, good.
So what do you think about the idea of maybe having a, not a prequel as such, but having one way back when Laurie and Michael were, I think they're brother and sister, like focusing more on their story. I know it was a little bit in the first Halloween, but have them sort of focus as they were younger and how Michael became who he was, I guess.
Well, Laurie was a baby when she got adopted. So, and we've seen, and we should not mention the complete cock up of the pathetic remakes that were made. Let's not go there. Sorry to everyone that likes them. I don't. I think they're trash. They take a huge mango-sized shit on the marks of the original. But I do. That stuff in the hospital that was filmed for part 2, for the televised version of part 1 as well. That's good and all, but I would like to get away from that. What I would actually like to do is explore the world of Halloween 3 more, the Silver Shamrock, and have that meet Thorn, the cult that was making Michael. You know, he had that thing on his hand in part 6, on his wrist. That's like a cult symbol, So have that match up with Silver Shamrock, and somehow the druids that were controlling Silver Shamrock were also the druids that were controlling Michael, and bring those two worlds together.
But how come in this, what the credits, they call him the Shape and not Michael?
Because in the original script he was called the Shape, because he wasn't human. That man, he's not human.
Yeah, right.
You know, Loomis said it perfectly. He wasn't. He was the boogeyman. You know, the boogeyman is dead. You know, long live the boogeyman.
Yeah, okay. But no, I mean, like I said, I enjoyed it again, and
what's your rating again?
8.
Okay.
The only reason I do that is because it doesn't matter what film I watch. I don't think there's ever such a thing as a perfect film.
It's never going to be.
Everything has something.
Raiders Lost Ark. I'm sorry, what?
So yeah, that's the only reason. Actually, you get a 9, maybe 9.5.
There is. Nah, man, I would argue Back to the Future, perfect. That's a perfect movie, from top to bottom. But anyway,
I'd have to rewatch it again.
Hold on, I just did. You gave it an 8. Okay, I'll give it 6.5.
Okay.
Oh, do you know, 7. 7. Solid 7, because it had a lot of awesome things, but it also had a lot of failings that could have been sorted in the script. Like 3 lines of dialogue would have changed the entire thing. So, yeah, I think there was a lot of missed opportunities, and it smacked to me of reshoots and re-editing. Yeah. Not studio interference, because Blumhouse is actually pretty good to work for, apparently. Give me a job. But it did really feel like that there was a longer cut. Like, I would go another half an hour watching that movie, like 45 minutes, give me another half an hour, 45, flesh out all the stuff, have more Lindsay in it, have the Corey and Allison's relationship have a previous setup. You know, if they did that, I would give it a 9, especially from that start of that first scene. What did Gary say? Don't bother mentioning the films of Terrence Malick, John Cassavetes, or Mike Nichols. Who are these people? Seriously, Gary, you having a stroke, mate? Who are these? These not real filmmakers. I was like, they had this filmmaker called Carol, someone that directed The Third Man, Carol Reed, I believe. I was so shocked to find out that a lady directed a really famous film from the 40s in black and white. I am joking to everyone.
Do you actually know who they are?
Yeah, of course I bloody do.
Okay.
That's like giving Gary crap. Yeah.
So he's asked if you're going to be in a fan film, obviously.
If I was, it would be based on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I've already got the whole story worked out.
And he said, you must be about 76. I don't know what that's referring to.
I'm a 74, baby.
Okay.
Halloween 74, buddy.
I missed you, Warren.
Thank you. Missed you too, Gary.
Cool, man. Well, we've been on for about an hour, so that's cool. Usually we only do one, but I thought we'd give two of them a go tonight. So, guys, don't forget, if there is anything you do want us to look at and review as far as films go, I'll leave the email. Yeah, I'll leave the email on the bottom. You can private message us either way. Preferably horror or thriller. Local, if there's any local independent ones you want us to look at. I am looking at trying to find Winnie the Pooh, That Blood and Honey, because I wouldn't mind watching that.
I've got my tickets to Terrifier too.
I know there's only so long you can give a bear honey in the woods and leave him on his own before he becomes psycho.
Okay.
Well, with a name like Winnie the Pooh, what do you expect?
Well, have you seen the Terrifier 2 trailer?
No. Oh, actually, I think I have, yes.
Art the Clown, just a great modern horror character. Like, if they do it right, because this film's making a lot of money. Second weekend, and it's made 5.4 million in America, which I don't even think it had a budget of that. It's making a lot of money, and I think if they continue this, because he's been in 3 films already, that character is the next Jason Freddy.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's the first time I've seen a horror character that lives up to horror icon status. That's just my opinion.
I think the only one I won't watch is the new Monsters remake by Rob Zombie.
Never, ever will that ever play in my house. If someone gives me a copy, Gary, if you buy it for me, I'll burn it in front of you. And I will throw it on fire on you. Just let you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't mind some of Rob Zombie's when he did Halloween and that as well, but it's House of a Thousand Corpses and stuff like that.
That's a masterpiece, and so is Devil's Rejects. I will stand by those 2 films, nothing else.
But nah, I think there's some films you just got to leave alone.
Mm-hmm. And TV series.
Yeah, that's right.
You need a character like Warren in your film, Anthony. Well, he hasn't told me about his film properly yet, so maybe.
Yeah, that's right.
You're looking for your lead action hero, sort of.
I'm
masculine dude.
I'm actually looking for a caretaker that has quite a bit to do with. I'll explain to you later.
Okay, don't spoil the film for people, Jesus.
Put Warren in a Rob Zombie film.
Yeah, I'll be a corpse.
Yeah.
So you have to kill me.
House of a Thousand and One's Corpses is a sequel.
That should have been, actually. That would have been a good one, but
Cool. All right, man. Well, it's good to see you again.
You too, man. It's been fun.
Thanks for coming back on. So, guys, don't forget that while I'm away, Warren may post stuff up. So
I will, and I'll get Gary on.
Yeah.
And you got to teach me how to use StreamYard. But
it's pretty easy. It's free. I think it's a free account as well. So
cool.
You just go on there and it's actually, I prefer it over OBS because you can invite people on like this. You can have multiple people on, and the only thing with you can't really you can share the screen, so you can have like other posters and things like that up there, but you don't have the ability to swap between scenes. But that doesn't really matter. It's not designed to be that sort of a format. So
yeah, I'll get Gary into religious horror.
Religious horror.
Uh-huh.
Isn't all? I was going to say isn't all religion horror, but I'm not going to go there anyway. So
horror is religion, but yeah, religious horror. Man.
That's why I listen to the Atheist Experience and talk heathen and that sort of thing, because
everyone can do whatever they want.
Each everyone, that's right.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think religious horror still is the scariest genre of horror. But that's just
Well, I was actually when I was talking to Aaron Camp the other day about we were just talking about stuff about aversion. He said the two genres that sell the most are faith-based films and horror.
And then porn.
Midget porn.
No, but if you did a horror film that's got religion and pornography, holy trinity, man.
So religious midgets having sex.
Why not? Could be a Mexican midget priest that's lost his way.
Who's that? What do they call those Mexican wrestlers? Libres?
Lucha Libre. Yeah. Oh, no. Let's just get out facts. We're just going to get cancelled even before anything happens, man.
Can you imagine Star Wars without the Force? That's a religion.
What, Star Wars is a religion?
No, the Force, Star Wars.
I know. Yeah. May your Schwartz be with you always.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
As long as they don't make a sequel to Snakes on the Plane with Michael J. Fox, that'll be good. That'll be alright.
That'd be Shakes on a plane, wouldn't
it? Yeah.
I'm going to hell.
All right. Well, thanks for good to see you again.
Yeah, man. We'll do this soon. And I'll, 2 weeks?
Yeah, so I get back on about the 9th of November is when I'll actually be awake. Because it's an 18-hour drive and we're driving straight through, so.
Okay. And when you're back, it'll be the Sunday after.
Yeah, are you going to the premiere of Thorns and Thistles, Aaron's one on the 13th of November?
I hadn't planned on it yet, but I might do. Yeah.
You should do. There's still tickets available.
Cool. Where is it playing again?
Luna in Leaderville.
That's right. I saw the thing on Facebook for it yesterday.
Yeah, I was co-producer on that, so low budget feature, but I think you'll enjoy it. It's
cool.
It's not a horror or anything, but it's.
What day is it?
I think it's the 13th of November.
13th. So is that's Thursday?
Sunday.
That's a Sunday. What time?
Let me have a look. Hang on. Come on. Yeah, I mean, I still heard they're going to remake The Crow, which...
They have. They finished filming 2 weeks ago. Bill Skarsgård is The Crow.
Yeah. Obviously.
I'm fine with that. He's a good actor.
Yeah,
so,
but he's not a martial artist.
You don't need to be. You really don't need to be. You just need to be Eric Draven.
I suppose Iggy Pop wasn't either when they did theirs.
Wasn't that part 2?
I'm not sure.
I remember.
Well, no, because there was the one with David Boreanaz in it as well.
Crow?
Yeah.
Was he in it?
Oh, they did one, I think, with him in it.
Jesus, great bottom of the barrel.
He's good in SEAL Team, but...
David Boreanaz is in SEAL Team.
Yeah, it's a series on Stan.
Oh, man. You should go back to Buffy.
Angel. Here we go.
So this is what they call filler. Anthony's looking
Sunday.
up something, so we're bantering so he has time to find
Sunday,
it.
November the 13th at 6:30.
6:30. I can make that. I finished work at 5.
Yep, cool.
Cool. Excellent. Well, send me the link or link it up on the filmmaking community again. Just repost it, and then I'll click on from that. And everyone, do it.
I think he sold about maybe 40 tickets so far. So if you want to get down, support a local filmmaker. It might not be your genre, but you know every bit of support we can get is helpful because we need more of it. It's
and the money goes back into the industry, guys. So we should do it
to help make more films and things like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right, everyone.
So I got to tap him up for some funding, guys. Be a producer again. So let's keep it going.
Yeah, exactly. All right, man. Well, again, thanks for coming on.
No worries, buddy. My pleasure.
And
it's good to see you.
I'll still speak to you while I'm away because I'll have reception anyway.
Cool.
And we can maybe sort out what films we want to review next on the next one. And again, guys, if you want us to review anything in particular, leave it at the bottom, and we'll try and watch it and review it from there.
Cool.
All right, man. Have a good night.
You too.
Thanks,
Peace.
mate. See ya.